Hello, everyone. Welcome to Into the Rabbit Hole with me. My name is Nancy, and I have a fifth grader and a seventh grader this 2026-27 school year. So today I'm just going to hold my phone because this is easier than setting up a whole tripod and all the things. And I'm going to attempt to show you what we did this afternoon. So I have a couple of different stacks like happening here. I differentiate our afternoon subjects from like our morning subjects. We hit the most important stuff to me first thing in the morning. So that's all of ELA, and we have math that we do in the morning. We also have things like our morning work and stuff, which I've shared in other videos, and that's all part of like our morning work. Then we usually take a break for like a couple hours, and then we all come back, and then we do history, science, and physics. Oh wait, sorry. History, science, and geography. And then I have this going on, which I'll share with you guys. But anyway, that's what we have going on. A couple of these things we're doing together, and then the science they're doing separately. So we did geography first thing this afternoon, and I have the scrunch wrap. It's just so low key. I just scrunch it up, and I can just like stick it in between things. And as I'm calling out specific geographical questions and stuff, my one child would be looking at this map, and my other child would be looking at this Atlas of World Geography. Honestly, you can use any atlas book. I went with this atlas book because it goes perfectly with our one of the spines that we're using for geography. This is the one from Simply Charlotte Mason, and I am specifically only using one section of it. I am using the South and Central America and Europe geography for the whole family. The Beautiful Earth, I think it's a new curriculum that they just came out with, and there's roughly 10 lessons that cover South and Central America, and then the rest is Europe. So I am just doing one lesson out of here a week. We have a big family trip planned in December that this is going to tie in nicely. So I had to put aside my U.S. geography and world geography plans while we did this and just focus more on Central and South America. So for that, you need this book. But honestly, you can use any other atlas book, to be perfectly honest. And I think there's others that are probably better. But because I just didn't want to mess with trying to align the pages up and stuff, I just went with it. So I just went with it. But then for my other child, I can pull another different atlas book for him. But honestly, they've just been enjoying these like scrunchy maps and stuff. And so then they'll just pull it out and look at it. I will link I have a whole Amazon shop and stuff that I can link, and you don't have to shop from there, but for me, it's a really great organized way to keep all the things in there. So books, resources, things like maps, like all sorts of things. So you can just go there, you can browse and see, and I will leave the link down in the description. So anyway, so that is what we're doing, and we're only doing this once a week though. So this is once a week, and that book goes along with it. And we're currently reading our way through Secret of the Andes. There's something very mystical and mysterious about this book. However, it is not one of my favorites, but my kids seem to enjoy it. So we're just reading our way through it. We just started this on Monday. Okay, so what are we doing for the rest of the days? So for the rest of the days, we are reading our way through In the Land of the Jaguar, which just focuses on South America, but it's geography, it's history, it's the culture, it's the people. Like it's a lot more than just like geography. So we do that once a week for 10 weeks because there's only 10 lessons covering specifically Central and South America. And then the rest of the weeks we're reading our way through this, and we're also using layers of learning. But I didn't do that this afternoon, so I didn't pull it. So anyway, that is what we did for geography. Each child has their own book, one for me, one for each of my kids. Okay, history, I actually find it easier to talk to you guys about history as I'm doing it versus laying out the whole shebang, because there's several different spines that I'm actually using for history. And it just coincides with how I want to do it. Number one, I want to do history in a chronological way, but then I also want to do deep dives into specific moments of history. So our first deep dive is finally happening with the American Revolution. So what I did is we've read up to that point in history, basically like half the book. So we went through, saw what was going on in the world, and then there's stuff in there, of course, on what was going on during North America, like Jamestown and all the things, Christopher Columbus, all the things, right? I have a series of questions. These are my own private like lesson plans that I put together. It's filled with primary sources. There's videos, there's reading comprehension questions. I could use the corresponding activity guide that goes along with it, but because I'm using this with my 5th grader and my 7th grader, I wanted the questions to be deeper. I want them to just have a little bit more analysis and thought involved in it versus the questions that are in the guide, you know? So I just created my own. So this is the final day that we will be reading from Story of the World for possibly 2 months at least. So we may not even pick this up until the beginning of next year, because starting next week, we're going to dive into a different spine and we are going to start going deep into the American Revolution. And there's like a whole bunch of stuff involved for that. So each of the kids has their own book. I'm missing one somewhere on the sofa, probably is where we were reading it, and it's probably still there. The Spanish Fairy book. If you watched any of my other videos, yeah, we're still going through the Spanish Fairy book. It's actually a really darling book. We are still, we're probably 2/3 of the way through. So we're gonna be there. We're slowly getting there. It's a really fascinating book. If I wanted to, we could just finish this out at the end of the month, and we could be done by the end of August if I wanted to. But we really like taking our time through it. We read one story every single time we do history, and we just like it. It's kind of like our flow. We start off reading from here, and then we jump into other things. We're also finishing out Captain Kidd. So remember when I was doing my pirate unit study? That lasted for like a week, but I wanted to do this deep dive into Captain Kidd. Well, we are still on Captain Kidd, and we're probably still going to be on it. My guess is probably probably through next week, and then I think we'll be done by the end of next week. So, and then this will be gone from our rotation and stuff, because we would have read it. And in its place, though, we're gonna have tons of American Revolution books and things like that. So everything for history that you're seeing right now is essentially going to change, except for this, the Spanish Fairy book. So that is currently what we did for history. So we went ahead and we did that. Now, science is like a quagmire of things that I'm also doing. So you guys know I'm doing Oak Meadow. This week is just a little bit different. The assignment in Oak Meadow is just to get used to converting measurements into the metric system and doing calculations and measuring things according to the metric system. But our assignment in there is learning about wetlands. And so there's reading inside of it that shows you, like tells you, like it gives you the information that you need. But me being me, I always want to dive deeper into it. So one of these, actually sometime this weekend, I'm going to show you all the books that I use, but this is just the books that we read today. So my 5th grader, and we don't do this family style, by the way. So Oak Meadow, grade 5, I only do it with my 5th grader. I'll show you what I'm currently doing with my 7th grader as soon as I finish this. So wetlands, he just read this independently. So I gave this to him. He read it independently. He narrated back to me. We just finished this. We did this Monday, we did this Tuesday, and we just finished it today. And we kind of only focus on the wetland portions of it. We discussed, we pointed out where it's located on the different continents. We talked about like the Indochina mangrove forest. We talked about the Everglades. We talked about the moorland, of the British Isles, like we talked about all that kind of stuff. We went through it, read about it. I had several videos also queued up that we were watching every single day. So I think I had a total of like maybe seven videos, because we did 2 on Monday, 2 on Tuesday, 2 today, and there's just 1 video left, and we're going to do that tomorrow, along with the experiment that Oak Meadow had. Oak Meadow has like this cool experiment to show how the wetlands are such an important and vital ecosystem, and how it filters out pollutants. And so there's a cool activity that we're going to be doing to show that, and that's going to happen tomorrow. So we did that. I just read a cute little picture book over and under excuse me, in the wetlands. I just did that. And then we read through here. I have some sections over here, if you can see off to the side, that we're slowly like making our way through. And so we will finish reading through all the other different sections that I've highlighted in here tomorrow, along with our experiment and along with the final video that I queued up for us to watch with this stuff. So that's basically what we did for 5th grade. And we do that together. I do that together with him, except for like when I give him things independently to read, he does that on his own. So my 7th grader. Now this is what he's currently doing right now, but his main spine is coming. I ordered it. I finally pulled the plug on it. I'm like, okay, I sat down with him. I'll do another video later on talking about like the contenders that we were seriously considering. and stuff. But we ended up going this other one. And so I'll share it with you when it arrives. But in the meantime, what we're doing is he has a novel that he's reading, and it's currently, it is, Jackson, do you remember the name of the book that you're reading upstairs? The Wind.
The Boy Who Harnessed
The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. Thank you, Jack. The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. He is reading that book. I just don't have it in front of me to share that with you. So he's reading his way through that. And then he's also reading his way through Phineas Cage. This is a really interesting story. It has really nothing to do with physics, just in brain science in general. But I just wanted him to read it, and it's a fascinating subject. So he's just reading it now. And then he's working his way through Worlds of Physics. This is actually a high school curriculum from Master Books, but it tied in so nicely with our study that we were doing with the Secrets of the Universe series that we were going through, that I felt it was something that would align really well with his capabilities and what he's able to do. And so far, so good. And he's halfway through it. But there's 14 chapters, and I think he's somewhere over here in the middle. And so he will be done with us. And when he's done with us, he's going to go into the new curriculum that I purchased, you know? So he basically does about 2 lessons a week, give or take 2 lessons a week. But this is his flow for how he's doing it. And we're not really adding much to these lessons other than this and other than the novel. So, there's not really any experiments or anything in here to do or anything like that. So it's pretty much just reading through and then answering the questions at the end of the chapter. And so since he's doing about 2 lessons a week, you can guess it's about 7 weeks worth, you know, and he's about halfway through it. So that is what he is doing. That is what my 7th grader is doing. But again, his main spine's coming. This was just kind of like an in-between as we were trying to figure out like what science are we going to jump into. He was doing Conceptual Academy, but that was not a really great fit for him. And maybe we'll talk about that like on a separate video, but there's nothing wrong with the curriculum. I actually really loved it. And it was probably one of the more heart-wrenching moves, because I really, really wanted that one to work, because it also goes through high school, and I thought it would have been a really great match, but he doesn't like it. And I get he's a more straightforward kid. Like, just tell me what to read, tell me what to do. He's also goal-driven. Like, he likes to see his grades at the end, and Conceptual Academy is not it's not grade driven. You know, it's point-based system, and the points sometimes aren't clear as to how many points you're accumulating, and it's all a lot of stuff. So he just would rather prefer we read our sections, do our science, I study for it, take the test, and I see if I'm tracking through the grade that I get for the test. Like, that's just his preference, you know? So anyway, that is what we did this afternoon. So we did history, and we did this together as a family. We did geography. We did that together as a family. And then we separated for science. So he is doing his science over here. And then Oak Meadow. I just didn't bring out the Oak Meadow stuff because we didn't really work from the Oak Meadow curriculum today. It was mainly this supplementary reading that we're adding in. So anyway, guys, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully this helps some of you guys. I think sometimes too, it's cool for me to look back on the things when I feel like I haven't accomplished much at the end of the year. And then I'm like, well, I actually did a lot. I forgot that he was doing this curriculum. I forgot that we went over Captain Kidd. I forgot that we were pulling from these books. So it's cool to see. So anyway, thank you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Bye, guys.